Great. In this video, I'm going to show you how to connect the Telegram bot that we just wrote in the previous videos to the examples with the ball that could be chased and could be synchronized between different clients that we did in further previous videos behind earlier on this playlist. Okay, and as a quick refresher, what we did before was we were able to create a synchronization between different clients that had this tiny sketch. So the tiny sketch is basically a black screen where there is a circle that is moving, and then we can click the mouse and make the circle chase the position of the mouse. But this sketch is connected to a WebSocket server where the information of the relative position on the screen is shared to the WebSocket server and is shared between all the clients that are connected to that server. So if I have this other client, for example, that I can also connect to the screen, you can see how now if I click here, both circles are now synchronized because data is being bounced back and forth between them via the WebSocket server, and any of them can send instructions to where all the clients should go and should move their circles. So what I would like to do is I would like to write something where in my Telegram bot, I want to create a new command called ball2, for example, and then I want to type in the relative coordinates on the screen where those balls should move to. So basically, I would like to control numerically with my Telegram bot the location of these balls. So how are we going to do this? Well, given that we have written this Telegram bot that lives on the cloud now, and that we have programmed with a bunch of simple instructions like an echo and a greet, I'm going to create a new command that is going to be the ball command. I'm going to be able to parse numerically these coordinates, and I'm going to send those to all the clients that are connected to that WebSocket server. But before I do that, what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to modify my Telegram bot to also in itself include a WebSocket server that can accept incoming connections and that can stream those locations to all the clients. So the diagram would be something like we have Telegram, all right? So then we have a server that is connected to Telegram and is working as the backend. And then that server also has a WebSocket server that can be used by clients to connect to the service. How are we going to do this? Well, I'm going to copy and paste very cleanly parts of my program. So for example, here I'm going to, or maybe I'm just going to write everything. I'm just going to copy paste everything. Yeah, maybe this is a bit cleaner. The WebSocket socket server part here. And I'm just going to copy paste everything here. Okay, so you can see that now I also have a WebSocket server in this port. I started it and it does the exact same thing. So it also serves any client that connects is also going to be sharing these coordinates, just like this one was doing. I believe here, if you see tools, you see that we have an error. And this error is that the module could not find a particular library. So it could not find the WebSocket library. Remember that when we created this project, we defined in package.json that one of the dependencies was going to be this WebSocket library, which right now on the other project, because we were only working with Telegram stuff, we did not define that as a dependency. So now what we need to do is we just need to add a comma here to the dependencies and just add a new dependency, which is going to be that this server depends both on the Node Telegram bot API and the WebSocket server, the WebSocket library. It needs both to work. And now that this is running, you see, this is working, and it also have a server, a WebSocket server listening on port 5000, just like we used to have this one. So now I think I can close this one. And for the sake of testing things out, let's see if this code, so this new server, works on its own, doing the same function that the same function that we had before without the Telegram connection. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cancel. I'm going to comment out this line, and then I'm going to copy it with the address of the new server. So I'm going to copy here server address, and now instead of simple WebSocket server echo, it's going to be pcamp telegram bot. But the idea is the same. So I still will connect. A client has just connected to this new server, and you see I'm clicking and I can see that I am receiving coordinates for where I want this circle to go to. Similarly, if I do the same on my other client, I'm going to stop it and then I'm going to run it here. If I run this now and I run it, you can see that both are connected to my Telegram bot. Not because of the Telegram part yet, only because I'm running a WebSocket server there, but you can see how I'm mixing the two things on the same process. Okay? So now what I would need to do is I need to actually connect the functionality of the Telegram bot with the functionality of the WebSocket server so that whoever types in ball2 and some coordinates sends those as coordinates to the other two clients. So how are we going to do this? Well, we're going to do it just like we did with the other, just like we did with when we created new commands. So what I'm going to do is here I'm going to say I'm going to create a new command which is going to be text-based, and this one is going to be, I'm going to do the 2 slashes, which for the regular expression. This one is going to be ball and then a bunch of data after that. And then my callback function is going to take in the message and the match. All right. And I should have done this on my local machine because it has a much better development environment. So here I'm going to create a ball command, for example. And then what we're going to do here now is, first of all, to verify that this is working, let's just print a message to the console. So console log, and let's print the match. So the second part, and let's print console logged received ball request. Okay. So let's see if that works. I'm going to move my Telegram app here, and then I'm going to run the logs. This just got restarted, so it looks good. So I'm going to type in my ball. Sorry, I need to type ball and then 1 and 1, for example. As I do that, you can see that I got the 2 coordinates and that I received the ball request. So this is working at a basic level. So ball motion request. So now what I need to do is I need to take that information that is coming from the message, and what I need to do is I need to make sure that I can turn those two things into numbers and then send those numbers to all the clients that are connected. So how am I going to do this? Well, first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a variable called coordinates, and that variable is going to take match, the second element of the match, which remember it was 1 white space and 1, and then I'm going to split that message with a white space, which will give me an array of the 2 coordinates that I'm going to have. So for example, now if I print console log and if I print coordinates, you will see, hopefully when the server restarts, the server just restarted, so ball 0.3, 0.5. So you're going to see that now I was able to split them into an array with each one of the 2 numbers separately without the white space. However, you can see that JavaScript is treating these 2 right now as strings, which is not good because I want them to be numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new variable called const, and I'm going to call this x position, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take from coordinates from the first element of the array, and I'm going to try to parse it as a float. This is a JavaScript function that takes a string and tries to convert it into a number. And similarly, I'm going to say y position is going to be parse float coordinates number, the second element of the array. All right. So let's see if this works. Console.log, for example, x position. And as I do that, I'm going to wait for the server to restart and then I'm getting an error, which is, no, I'm not getting an error. So this is working and I'm going to run my command and yes, I get 0.4 as a number. Wonderful. So now we have the two coordinates as numbers. And then what I would like to do is I'm going to create an object. Remember that when we were working with coordinates, what we did was we created JSON objects with X and Y coordinates, and that's what we use to exchange information between the clients. So what I'm going to create is a new variable called coordinate object, which is going to be a JSON object. So I'm going to open curly brackets. X is going to be the X position. The Y value is going to be the Y position that I just computed, and that's it. And then once we have that, which I'm still going to console log just for the sake of really verifying that this is working well, I'm going to go here and then I'm going to type another one, ball 0.9, 0.7. And as I do that, I'm going to scroll down and yes, you can see that I'm printing an object that has two properties, X and Y, and they're both numbers. This is very important. So we are almost ready. So we have the object that we want to send across. Remember, we have the object that we want to send across clients, and it looks very similar to what we were using before. In the sketches, it's an object. It's JSON objects, X and Y coordinates, the values. So now the only thing that I need to do is whenever I receive this command from Telegram, what I want is to say, take all the clients that are connected to with this WebSocket server and send this object with the XY coordinates to all of them. The way I'm going to do that is just like I did before with my connections. So I'm going to basically copy paste this here and I'm going to copy paste it here and I'm going to broadcast that to all the clients. So I'm going to say, for all the clients in WebSocket server, take each one of the clients and send this object here, the coordinate object. Although this is not going to work, so let me show you. I'm going to clear this. This just restarted. So I'm going to type here ball and then 1 and then 0, 2 and then received ball motion request, blah, blah, blah. And then you can see that this didn't really work. All right. And it didn't work because remember that we can't really send JSON objects. What we need to send is the string version of that JSON object. So what I'm going to do is JSON.stringify the object with these coordinates. All right. Just like I believe I did. Well, I didn't do it in the server because I did it here on the clients already. So it was sent already as a string. So I needed to do that. So let me stop this. Let me clear. Let me connect again. A client just connected to the server, so that's great. I just connected to this server, Telegram bot chat, blah, blah, blah. And now let me see if this works. So I'm going to type here ball, go to 0.5 and, oh no, I'm typing it in the wrong place. Let me type here ball 0.5 and 0.5. And yes, it worked. Oh, who is doing this? I think someone is doing this. I have, I'm recording this tutorial live on my live stream, and I have people watching this as I'm recording it. So probably someone connected to the Telegram bot and sent some instruction. Is that correct? Who's the culprit here? All right, so let me send another one just to make sure that we're 0.1 and 0.1. And you can see I received the 0.1. I can send 0.2 and 0.8, and then it goes just all the way down. And I can do, for example, 0.3 and 0.7, and it moves very close. Okay. Oh, wait. So it's actually on my back. Sorry, I never get this right. So ball 0.3, 0.1, and it just left my head. That was nice. Okay, and last but not least, just a reminder that this is happening to all the clients that are connected. So if I have another client here, for example, and I'm chatting with my bot right now, and for example, this one is ball 0.4, 0.5. This one it probably needs to reconnect. Yep. So ball 0.1, 0.12, and you see both of them go to the same location. Yoo-hoo! And boo! Yoo-hoo! How cool is this, right? How cool is this? All right. Okay, so I think with this, I'm happy where we are. Food for thought, things that we could also do here. So we could expand this and we can say, well, the bot may respond to ball requests, but maybe we can modify even more things in these clients. So maybe we can send the color that the background should be on. We might be able to change, for example, the shape of the circle. So we can create a command that is shape and then circle, square, rectangle, blah, 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 and even the coordinates or the size of that. We can create a new command called color and then the 3 RGBs, etc., etc. So that's one thing that we could consider. Another thing we may want to consider is the fact that this code is not very resilient, because if the user is not great at typing exactly what they need to type, so for example, let's say that we type ball and two other things. This is going to create an error because this is not going to be parsed correctly, and you can see that both clients now went to 0, 0. So, or for example, if I say ball 0.2 and then I do a lot of white spaces and 0.9, this is also not going to be picked up correctly by the so we would need to do a little bit of better job at making sure that how we parse the string that is coming in is more resilient to mistakes by the user. Okay. But I think with that, I think I'm happy. So thanks a lot for watching this series of videos. We started with WebSockets as an inspiration. Now we move to Telegram bots, and who knows what's coming next in this playlist. In any case, if you liked what you saw, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, subscribing to the notifications so that you can be up to date whenever we publish new content. And thanks a lot, and see you on further videos. Bye bye.